And the legal education, the best is United Kingdom. So the universities in United Kingdom, how they do it. Areas, the law and the law degree, and how it connected to the employability. Now, first of all, when we start law as a practicing lawyer, you are the boss. And this is self-employment. In such a situation, you can manage yourself if you study law in such a way. For that, you have to select a best and a good university, which you can obtain your degree as well as to develop your career. Now, the dimension of laws are very, very important. So I give some picture overall LLB degree, and this is a door open for you to practice as a lawyer as well as get a position in a company. And for 54 countries, Commonwealth. When you study a UK degree, your access for employment or practice with certain bar exams you have to pass, you are recognized. With this recognition, you may find employment in various international organizations as well as international NGOs, multinational corporations, specifically in banks, as well as other commercial entities. Now, when you study law, it will help if you are employed today in an organization for cost saving. I will give some examples. You may be the HR manager. You may be the HR executive. So you are attached to a listing company or non-listing company or any type of corporation. In the HR director, sometimes take some decisions against the employee. In such a scenario, do you know the law applicable? Are you going to consult a lawyer? Huge legal cost you have to pay. Preliminary, employment, legal principles, if you know, you can manage stage number 1. So as the HR manager, you can advise, you can instruct your executives to see the contract of employment. And whether it's a disciplinary or non-disciplinary matter. If it is a disciplinary matter, you have to conduct a fact-finding mission or collecting evidence whether the employee had done such a thing. And thereafter what you do, you will draft several letters and things. For this, if you consult an attorney at law, a big amount you have to pay. So number 1, my advice is whereby when you study law, you know the principle of natural justice as well as act against the employee or any other party for the best interest. Now let's see, your company is manufacturing or delivering services and you have signed a contract with one of your clients. According to the contract, they have not paid. Stage number 1, you have to prepare a letter of demand, LD. Now, if you have a law degree, And if you are a lawyer, in-house you can do it. Preparation of letter of law. Now, if you don't know the subject law, and if you don't have a law degree, or if you are not an attorney at law, in your organization, what will happen? You have to hire a lawyer. For him, you have to pay. So what I want to say, every department in your company or every section in your company, if you have thorough knowledge of the legal principles, then you save money. That's why if you are currently employed in an organization or in any institution, you can do the LLB degree. So LLB degree serve two ways: to save money for the legal cost, as well as for you to develop the company and put in the right stream. Other examples are drafting policies, and thereafter drafting MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, with other companies or other countries. So a vast area. For that, the foundation is LLB. Maybe you are working in a bank. Now, a special subject called banking law, and also banker-customer relationship, the law related to checks, bills of exchange, promissory note. That subject is called business law. In Sri Lanka, we have 1927 bills of exchange ordinance. It is a carbon copy of the United Kingdom Act. So all these UK principles, as it is applied in Sri Lanka, little bit Roman Dutch law principles are there. So as I said, in the world, there are three legal systems. One is you call common law tradition. The other one you call civil law tradition. Other one you call Holy Al-Quran. That is where Gulf region. If you start your employment in Gulf region, you must know that the principles involved here. Now, civil law means other than UK, all European Union countries. So you study for the LLB, that legal system also. And then you have the common, English common law, including Sri Lanka, 54 countries. Those were the colonies of United Kingdom. So these colonies of United Kingdom today apply one and only law. I studied law in Sri Lanka, and thereafter my postgraduate LLM I studied in Australia. It was very easy, the same legal system. And thereafter I was appointed as the Dean, Faculty of Law, University of Jamaica, West Indies. Same law, same legal system. So it was very easy. Take me as an example. So several years I was there in Jamaica teaching law as a professor. I never studied new things. Whatever I studied for my LLB, LLM, English legal system, same as it is working in Jamaica, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, those countries. So a big market is there. Sri Lankan had not gone and practiced law in those countries. So I opened the market. So likewise, I mean, if you are studying law, that will solve several things. Number 3, you may be a bank manager. If you are a bank manager, after your retirement, what you do? You can have a nice retirement life. But if you have a law degree, you can go and practice in any court of law. That means you are with the people, you are active. The one and only profession, no retirement age, is legal field. As a lawyer, you can practice even 90, 9500. There may be other professions. So this is an after employment investment for you. I have seen many lawyers, what they have done. While they are in the employment, they do this LLB degree and they get their attorneys. Immediately after the retirement, next day, you visit courts and start practicing. So this is not in the field of science or management or banking. After retirement, you are no more considered as a banker. But here it is different. Okay, you can start your own business. That is where business law, as well as registering a company, you don't need to give money for lawyers. How to prepare the articles of association, the company law, that's a different subject, company law subject. In United Kingdom, 2006 Company Act. Sri Lanka, 2007 Act number 7, Companies Act. So comparative studies you can. And vast developing laws are there now. Aviation law, maritime law, climate change law, law of the sea, ICT law, newly added versions to this field. And more subjects are coming. And also cybercrime, the law related to cybercrime, data protection. So new versions are there. So when you get your degree, more and more versatile lawyer, because those who had done that degree, they don't have much practice on the subject, new subject. So if you start now, you go with the new unique subjects. That is another added advantage. And you are financially stabilized. When you practice as a lawyer, no EPF, no ETF, that's a different case. But you earn money through your expertise, knowledge. You can be a legal advisor. You can be a legal drafter. You can be a counsel. Different ways. No one is there to control you. You are your own boss. So for that, the basic standard and basic foundation is your law degree. As well as you can travel many countries. When you travel those countries, basically, the new theories you don't want to study because you have studied the English common law. But if you want to go for a civil law country, that is also their EU law. The LLB, British LLB, European Union law is one subject. So you study the English law as well as you study this European Union law. So any country, you are in safe hand. And also it is very, very important. The other important one is making decisions, critical thinking, critical writing, as well as research methodology. Those are some subjects where people need to take the arguments. And you are highly respected. You are a respectable lawyer, then you can be a secretary, company secretary, and you can go for the government. Even you are working in the private sector after retirement, they absorb into the system as contract, legal consultant. So they will give a contract to somebody. That is where, without law, you can't live. Now law, some countries, they are going to make a school curriculum, college curriculum subject. At the moment, it is there in the UK. If you go for high school here, you can select that law subject. But in other countries also now, they are going to introduce law into their subject. So you can purely start law, and then you can be an expert, and step by step, you can develop. If you are working also, there's a very good opportunity. While working, this LLB degree give you a strength as well as a protection. No one will come and argue with you because you know the argument well, you know the defense and the application of law. That is also much encouraged. So studying law is an investment, various ways. Now, even if you are working, the company will make some issues for you all. And then immediately you can send the reply without, meeting a lawyer. Otherwise, you have to meet a lawyer, you have to pay money, those things. For you, one side, for the company also one side. So you are protected both ways for your, establishment or stability in the company, as well as if you are having a low degree while being a manager, maybe HR manager, maybe a production manager, maybe a marketing manager. So the marketing manager, when he's preparing all these contracts, no need to get the outside lawyers. Inside you can meet. And other opportunities are there, It will be basically representing. And most of the politicians now equipped with a law degree. Then only the proper argument, the proper way, you go with good governance, good legal principles, and practice. Those are very important. So being a lawyer, sometimes 24 hours occupied because you are solving others' problems. As well as you can do a lot of corporate social responsibility programs and free legal aid, giving awareness for the community what to do next, and empowering the society as a leader. So lawyers are the leaders of the society. Even in your personal life, it is very important. Studying family law, trust law, and also very important, this last will. When a person living, he will write a last will, donating all his property and dividing among those who are living. After his death, the last will be operating. You have to prove that it's a genuine last will in the court of law. So all these things are surrounding one center point. So center point is the law, and the other subjects are always there. And it can be a sale of goods contract. It can be consumer affairs authority. It can be an injustice for you or to the society. You know how to represent. The representation is very, very important. So I mean, this law degree basically are adjusting the society. We are making you to come on board and to get the experience, as well as after your degree, then there can be a process. This process is very, very important. The process has already started. And I am here only to give the awareness of why LLB is important, why you should study law. So the topic had given to me is where I will read. I am only advocating in that. Professional success and law education. That is my subject. So other questions, the managers will answer here. But I am basically going with professional success and law education. So the law education in a country, there can be private institutions are there, public institutions are there. Private or public institutions, how they work together. And the law education, today there are dual degrees also in some countries, BCom, LLB, BA, LLB. So that component, most of these Scandinavian countries are actually absorbing. So, but Some countries still dual degrees they have not introduced. In the third year, you specialize the law subject. But here, what my argument, if you are employed within shorter period, you can finish the LLB degree, and then thereafter you can go for your license for the practicing. And the legal education, the best is United Kingdom. So the universities in United Kingdom, how they do it. So the legal education help for you as an individual, for the society as an whole community, as well as for your defense, and save your money as well as your future career. So if you have any question, we can discuss. I'm only discussing limited areas they have given to me, and they will come on board and the others will address now. So the legal education and the professionalism, if you have any question, you can ask. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. It was a great session, and the floor is open for any questions if one might have. Please unmute yourself and ask the question now. I will ask them to put into the chat because I didn't want to interrupt the professor.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, Rajendra, go on.
Yeah, so is there any age limitation to enroll these courses and to become take a attorney at law? Is there any age limitation?
I think you have to ask it from the institution.
From our end, Rajendra, there is no limitation to enroll. As if you were listening to Professor Prathiba, he said, this is the only profession, LLB, getting the LLB, this is the only profession that you don't have any retirement age as well. Even at 9900, you still can practice. So there's no restriction for you to get the qualification as well.
So I'm currently employing. So in that case, how this part-time studies is continuing, and how to obtain the license for the as attorney, or going to the courts and other things?
We do have part-time study options, and I think that is, let's take that question out of the forum, because we have Professor Prathiba Mahanamahewa, and we'll ask questions that he can answer regarding the law, because these are all related to the institute and getting the qualification. I think that is not the purpose of this discussion.
Okay, right.
Thank you. Professor, I got a question over WhatsApp.
Yeah.
From one of the participants. That person is asking, is it better to go for a general qualification or else to go for a specialization like cybersecurity law or something like that? Because those are upcoming fields. So I think that's the question.
Excellent. That's a very good question. Now, LLB honors degree. LLB honors degree, this is a general. General means you study various subjects. Now, you may have some idea to specialize. At the moment, there are no LLB degrees, LLB in cyber law, LLB in this law. So, LLB means a foundation. You study all these subjects in the foundation, and thereafter you can specialize. Specialized subjects are there when you come to the master level or postgraduate level. Now you can do postgraduate diploma in intellectual property rights, postgraduate diploma in international law, or LLM dedicated for international law, like that. So what you do, the LLB, you specialize law in various subjects: employment law, trust law, family law, thereafter company law, contract law, business law, like various subjects are there, including European Union law. Then you get the basic level. So LLB, what you do, you get your basic foundation level. And once you passed out as LLB, then you can master specialized areas. Number two, you don't want to do masters. Now you have taken your LLB. After that, you go for your license. And thereafter, what you do, you can practice. But in Sri Lanka, you can't find only criminal lawyers, civil lawyers, intellectual property specialized lawyers, privacy lawyers. We all practice here. But if you go for Canada, Australia, and other countries, specialized lawyers are there. But for that, you have to be in the field for several years. So you have the LLB, you are a lawyer, but in practice also you can gather it. Then the people know you are a constitution lawyer, the best criminal lawyer. The best criminal lawyer ever produced, Dr. Colin Silva. So he's only practicing that. But today's scenario, it is, different little bit. The difference means sometimes you may not get cases in this country only for that specialized areas. I'm telling the truth. For the survival, you have to do. So LLB level, no specialization, don't go for specialization. But finally, you can select one subject and then you can do some research, because British LLB, you have this research methodology, research proposal, research presentation. Do that. And thereafter, you can go for the next stage. In future, this may be introduced, not at the moment.
All right. Thank you, Professor. Again, the floor is open for anyone who has questions.
Legal education, law profession, as well as those issues, you can ask any academic type of question and the institution will set the other areas.
Sir,
Yeah, please go ahead.
what are the what are the core differences of doing LLB in private sector and public sector? What are the core differences of
differences
LLB?
means?
Yeah, main differences.
That means LLB awarded in a public university and a private university, you ask?
Yes.
All right. Now,
what are the differences?
Okay. Differences mean the local universities are under University of Grant Commission. So they go with the local system. And there are international universities, they also award their LLB, but that LLB from United Kingdom, that university. So the differences are, what you do, LLB means no difference, but the subjects are different. When you are studying for local university, there is a set of subjects where you study. Now, when you study UK degrees, you have the European Union law. But here we are not studying European Union law. One example. So the degree as it is same, but the subjects are different. So different subjects you study in that. But local public universities, there is a set of subcommittees for law. So they decide the subjects and they go according to that. The degree is degree, LLB, there is no difference. When you are recruited or when you are going for a competitive exam, there is no difference. But when you study, subjects are discipline, law discipline, there are several subjects. So I gave one example, European Union law. That is different because we are not studying that.
Sir, after completing LLB at private sector, we can go to law college, no?
That will be answered by the institution. You can go,
Yeah.
but they will explain more.
Yes,
okay,
Hassan, I'll answer that question offline.
yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Professor, I have a question because you mentioned that some Scandinavian countries have these dual degrees.
Yeah.
So we have, students applying right after their A levels. So they might be selected to go to a government university as well if their results are good. So is it a good plan for them to, like manufacture a dual degree by doing a general degree at the, government university as well as studying part-time at a private university that is LLB?
Yes, I think you directed me for a very strong position. Now in Australia, they have dual degrees until dual degree start. Right. Okay. You do the management degree in a university, but on the other hand, you do the LLB. Yes, you are well ahead than a degree, law degree. That's why I also feel you must get the diversity everywhere, that knowledge. Okay. You have done a science degree BSc. In meantime, you do law. So it is like a dual degree. So when you are doing the science degree or you passed out from that, yes, it's fulfilled. But sometimes after doing LLB, very hard to do a BSc, very hard to do a, BCom. But once you do, law is a universal subject. Law is a universal subject. Therefore, it's very interesting. You can study. Now, for example, you are an engineer. Now you need the legal knowledge. So you do this LLB. So you are coupled up with engineering and law. That's why I said in my introductory one, no need to hire lawyers, no need to go beyond lawyers. As an engineer, I mean, the first stage, the basic stage, the foundation stage, you can do it by yourself. So I encourage everyone, those who do, those who have other disciplines, or those who are working with that degree, think about your future aspects, future career. Law will give a strengthened, strong security for other degrees also. It is like a defense. Thank you. So we don't know what time these dual degrees are coming to Sri Lanka, but still it will be a good eye.
Hopefully the government brings them soon.
Yeah, definitely. But until that, so you can do a law very soon. Because government having a plan, I think within 2 or 3 years later, they will come in. But you are not too late for that. So now you can start, and then you can actually, I think most of these, non-LLB graduates now divert to law, legal studies. And those who work, senior managers, executives, even enforcers, now they want to study the legal stream. Because you are secured. Being employed after retirement, it's where financial stability, no need to go behind anyone. So right through your career, you can practice law as a lawyer, legal advisor, as well as drafting law documents.
Thank you, Professor.
There's a small question. Once we completed the LLB, normally they are practicing under a senior lawyer. Is that compulsory thing?
This is where now LLB is only an academic qualification. Academic qualification, if you obtain, you can voluntarily go and do some internship some other place in your final year. But once you become, once you pass the law college finals, it is compulsory to do an internship. That is profession. I am not touching that part. But for LLB, while you are doing the degree, you don't need or any requirement, any academic requirement to go and do an internship with a senior lawyer or law chambers. But if you want voluntary, you can. But on the other hand, it is compulsory when you go for the professional career. Academic career, no need.
All right. So if there are no questions, I think we have come to the end of the scheduled time. I'll wait a few seconds if anyone has a question. So the silence means we have, no other questions. So let me take a small bit of time to thank Professor Prathiba Mahanamahewa for conducting this session, even amidst, a technical difficulty. Thank you, sir, for having the patience and, conducting the session in a very fruitful manner. I think, personally, I, as an IT graduate, got a lot of knowledge of, what an LLB or the legal education could do to my personal career. And I would think, everyone else who participated today would have got the same kind of insights into how they can plan their career ahead. If they are starting young, obviously go for a dual degree qualification like, we explained. If not, if you are working, you still can get an LLB or LLM and get yourself prepared. As the good professor said, be guaranteed, be secured after your retirement. So with that said, let me thank all of you who participated today and hope you have a pleasant evening as we sign off now. Thank you.